I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of games. Like, so many that we literally do not have the time to get to everything we'd want to cover or bring to your attention. For a while now, we've been attempting to find a format that would allow us to quickly highlight games we found interesting, but in a bit more premium way than just an unedited Let's Play or livestream. So, this is a little test pilot for a new format we're trying out, in which 2 members of the Second Wind team get together each week to essentially show and tell a game we've been checking out, but in a very quick and to the point format that should feel like you're just telling a friend about a game you think they should check out. We'll provide you with a quick scripted introduction to each game, and then immediately follow it up with a short unscripted discussion about the game, and then wrap it all up. Hope you enjoy it, and looking forward to hearing your feedback in the comments. Absolum is the latest game from Dotemu, which mixes up the beat-em-up genre with roguelite elements for a very unique experience that also modernizes a lot of the trappings of traditional beat-em-up games. It's available now on Steam, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch for $24.99. So yeah, the game I'm bringing today to talk to you about is Absolum. It is developed by Dotemu and a bunch of different developers. I think there's like 3 developers listed on the page for this thing.
Yeah.
But the basic premise is it's almost like Hades meets a side-scrolling beat-em-up. And I don't know what your history with beat-em-ups are, but like I've never really gotten into that genre of games.
Yeah, I think it was a big thing in like the arcades in the 90s, and that's what I associate beat-em-ups with like the Ninja Turtles game and the Simpsons game and the X-Men game, but they kind of fell out of vogue, in the 2000s, save for the occasional like Scott Pilgrim or TMNT throwback.
Yeah, and Dotemu's really been bringing back a lot of them through TMNT. They did the Scott Pilgrim game, I think.
X-Men games coming
a bunch of stuff like that. So, the loop of this one is basically, you have like a story hub area that you come back to every time you die, and you're going through and kind of choosing which path you want to take. There's a boss at the end, and every time you die, you get resources and stuff like that to keep upgrading your character, just like you would in any other roguelike. The thing that I've really enjoyed about Absolum, though, is like, for one, like the gameplay is really fucking solid. Like hitting things just feels good. I know you've put a little time into it, but I don't think I've played a beat 'em up that feels like this modern.
Yeah, it's a combination of how good it feels and how good it looks, and how that like art style helps how the combat feels. Yeah, it really does feel like someone took the beat 'em up formula and made it feel like a 2025 thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned the art. I absolutely love the art in this game. Like every location is just beautiful to look at. I never get bored going through it. And then the soundtrack too, which is composed by Gareth Coker, Mick Gordon, and I'm gonna butcher their name, but you're really good at names, I think. So some of the composers of like Dark Souls worked on some of the tracks of these games.
That's right. Yeah. So it's this kind of like dream team of like a little bit of like who did Ori, and someone who did Doom, and someone who did Dark Souls, and it's this thing where it's like you wouldn't think it works, but it absolutely does in the final game.
Yeah, the first boss you get to is like that dwarven king, and the Mick Gordon soundtrack comes in, and it rips.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, what I really liked, I liked that you mentioned the roguelike things in terms of, you get a little bit stronger for your next run, you can level up a little bit, but I also like how like this story kind of unfolds in that same way, to where you might, the first time you go through the mines, you'll find a locked door and you won't know how to get through it, and it'll take a few runs for you to figure out, here's the key or the mechanism that unlocks that, and then in subsequent runs you can go on different routes.
Yeah, the routes keep getting more intricate and deeper the farther you get into the game, so I really like that. And then it also has that element that Hades does a really good job at, is like making little minor changes that end up changing a lot. Yeah. So like on your runs through like those first areas, it'll be the same for a while, but then over time they introduce like new enemies that show up. They'll introduce like new traps and all that to just add enough variation so that you don't get bored running through the same areas over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm not like super invested in the story. It's a very kind of typical, defeat the bad king kind of thing. So I wouldn't say play this one for the story, but if you like beat 'em ups, or if you just like really like solid action combat gameplay like this, Absolum is, I think, one of the best games of the year, and I'm not even done with it. Like it's one of those games I just keep coming back to for one more run, and that's always the sign of a really good roguelike.
Yeah, it's I want to play more of it. It's for me, it just launched in a time in the midst of so many games, even similar-ish games. Like I'm still trying to finish Hades 2, the completely finish it, and then Ball Pit also came out, which, very different mechanics, but same sort of like quick 15 to 20 minute loops. And yeah, I'm hooked on that one too. Oh no, am I starting to like roguelikes? Oh no,
I think you're starting to like roguelikes.
No, it won't happen, I promise. MotionRec is a delightful 2D puzzle platformer that revolves around the core mechanic of being a cute little robo with the ability to record and play back your own movements. It gradually folds in new ideas, challenges, and twists, and ultimately becomes one of my favorite puzzle games of 2025. So yeah, my game that I'm kind of obsessed with right now is MotionRec. This is from a developer called Handsome, which is a indie Japanese developer and published by Playism. And this, as you can probably see in the footage, is a 2D puzzle platformer with kind of 8 16-bit throwback visuals. It reminds me a lot of Elechead and Oob, which is or not Oob. Oob is a Jack creation. But in that it has a very simplistic core mechanic that it gets a ton of mileage out of in how it throws twists and folds into it. And that core mechanic is you play as a little robot, and you can hold one of the triggers in order to record your motion for like 10 seconds. And so, you can jump and then move right and then move back left. And then when you're done with that, you hold the other trigger and it plays back that motion. Your character does that. And so, you'll get to a thing where you need to cross a chasm, but you can't jump that far. But in the previous room, there's enough land to where you can record yourself walking in a straight line to the right and then play yourself going right over that line to the right. In the next screen and to get over that. And what I really love about it is how it starts folding new and interesting ideas into that. It introduces things like, how do you, there's a platform really high up and you need to get to it. But in the previous room, there was an elevator. And so you can stand at the bottom of the elevator, record yourself going up to the top. And in that next room, just, play back yourself going up to the top. It also throws in stuff like there'll have to be a key you'll have to get in order to leave the room. Some rooms will have like a bunch of these little nodes that you have to hit in one fluid movement in order to be able to get through a barrier. And so you need to figure out, how do I record myself making this circular movement? What can help me do that? Stuff like wind gusts that'll push you. And it also, like those aforementioned, like Elechead and even something like Celeste, almost every chamber also has a little musical note that you don't have to collect, but is kind of like a sub-puzzle within the puzzle. So getting through the core puzzles hasn't been too difficult so far, but I've been spending a ton of time just because I'm like, I want to 100% this, so I want to figure out how to do this thing. And yeah, I love the fact that the puzzles are kind of self-contained into single rooms and single areas. So anytime you come upon one, I have what it takes to solve this. And even if I don't know how to, like, all the clues are here. Kind of similar to like a portal. When you went to a portal chamber, you're like, everything I need is in this chamber right now. I just don't, I have to figure out exactly what it is. Great, that 8-bit stylings, great chiptune music and soundtrack and sound effects and everything. And just one of those like really kind of cozy puzzle games that I've been having an absolute blast with. Currently out on only Steam at the moment, but runs great on Steam Deck, which Absolum also runs great on Deck, and that's on Switch as well. But I've been for in a year that's had so many bangers and heavy hitters, it's kind of crazy to me that November's rolling around and we're still getting these games that are coming from kind of nowhere that are like, oh man, this is slowly becoming one of my favorite things of the year in a historically great year.
Yeah, Playism is one of those publishers that's just kind of they're publishing like a lot of these really small, weird indie games because they also published that Mind Diver game, which unfortunately I don't think it sold very well, but people were really into it. Yeah,
they've done great stuff. World of Horror, which a really awesome kind of like spin on Uzumaki. Skim, that like shadow puzzle platformer game from a year or two ago. Nitro Express, which was that like Metal Slug anime kind of game that Yahtzee and I played for Yahtzee Tries. So yeah, they have a really cool slate.
They also published the very fantastic The Good Life.
Oh, was that the You know what? You can't win them all.
You can't win them all.
Yeah. But yeah, MotionRec, if any of the stuff I mentioned sounds like it is up your alley, and if you like those kind of 2D puzzle platformers, give it a whirl. Only $10 on Steam, so I'm having a blast with it.
This is a new format we're looking to run with that would highlight a couple interesting games we're playing each week in a quick, digestible format. We'd love to hear your feedback on it. Whether you like the format or not, how we could improve upon it, and any other ideas you might have, including names. Thanks for watching.